the game, cause see the boxing voice.
What did you mean by that?
Well, these is one of the important fights of this year, and what I meant by that is what I'm saying now, is that I pay attention, and I pay attention clearly, and I noticed that the years prior to this year, you had one fight, and then you had a drop-off, and that fight was either May or June, mainly May, and then everybody sort of scrambled to cover B-plus fights, but not of the magnitude of when Floyd Mayweather was hit in May and then September, and that was basically it. But in the middle, and at the end of the year, November, October, those months and dates haven't been filled of this magnitude. Lemieux, Triple G fight, right, recently, and then you have this fight. So that's what I mentioned. It's been a long time, to my knowledge, where you have this particular year, right? This particular year where you had three major fights. Because one guy didn't come up to fight in May, doesn't mean that on paper and how it was promoted and the records it broke, that was a major fight, a major event. Now you come over again to the last couple of months of the year where now people going in there with a thought. They're going over there with a thought and a hope and maybe a plan. The fans are debating who the winner should fight later. When you hear this stuff in Philadelphia, a whole cold city when it comes to who they believe and who they stick with. That town is rough. And when you got that type of mentality debating who should fight who if they win and who should fight who if they lose, I haven't heard that in boxing in a long time. I'm not saying 20 years ago, but I haven't heard that type of debate in barbershops in a long time.
Bernard, allow me to please play devil's advocate quickly. Miguel's the 4-division champ, the reigning champ. He has the better resume, and he's the one who's shown the versatility to seek and destroy and to move around the ring. So why should Canelo win Saturday night? Why will he win Saturday night?
You forgot one thing in that devil's advocate. Cotto has experience, obviously, but he also, unlike others in the sport of boxing, you have to look at what fights could have took many fights out of him. I always use Jermaine Teller as an example. He won 2 fights over me, but he paid a dear price. See, you can win the fight but not win the war. When I look at the film the other day, for my expertise to pass on, when I seen just started, you want me to stop? Okay, we just watched Miguel Cotto fight Margarito fight, and whether the hands in that situation, which was true, how many fights of this magnitude that he have right now, from those accumulations of a drop of water on the concrete that don't get fixed, will break it sooner or crack it. When you're dealing with a fresh line, a guy that can fight, a guy that has some experience, a guy that been in there with the best. 12 rounds ain't a victory, but it's experience. You didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you, I won't be surprised if he makes it, Canelo makes it look easier than what you expect or people, based on not becoming old that night, as they say about fighters. But I just see this, not only the styles, I just see that Canelo has a range and an ability all the way around to give Cotto problems in foot movement and positioning and also in speed. And I think speed always kills, and I think speed will defeat Cotto.
How important is this fight, Mr. Hopkins, how important is this fight for the industry of boxing?
How important is this fight for the industry of boxing? No fight will save boxing, and no fight is that important for the industry of boxing. Boxing is one of those sports that they go through their recessions. Boxing is never going to be in a situation where it erases off the face of the earth, but it will help boxing, but nothing can never really hurt boxing because it's not going anywhere.